Recording and streaming, or recording only, hopefully. I'm hopefully not streaming, because that would be awkward. Because you never know what Dalaran is gonna say off stream. Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran. It's a little suspicious that Blizzard releases Heart of Azeroth stuff. The day I asked the question, where's all the Heart of Azeroth stuff? I just asked this question of how it's gonna work, and we actually get a little bit of an insight. So today I want to take a close look at it and break it down. Is it a good system? Is it bad? How does it look is my first impression. My first impression of the Heart of Azeroth system for two classes that we do have. So let's take a look at it. They actually added some spells of how it's going to work to give us an idea so people can get some input. We have Shaman and Hunter on the table. Two classes we can take a look at and how the system will function. This looks a lot like a combination of Netherlight Crucible, a little bit of artifact power stuff, some legendary systems, maybe a tier piece. It's like a combination of everything together. Now, there's only two things that can come out of it. One, it's either one of the most customizable systems ever, or it is literally an abomination. It's an A-bomb. It's an atrocity from different parts just stitched together. Looks really grotesque and functions pretty grotesque as well. But we'll get to take a look at how this actually functions. The first tier, we have tier 0. Azeroth Empowered just increases the item level of your necklace, which I think that's going to happen multiple times over, as that necklace is probably going to upgrade over and over and over. That's just, I think, something that's going to be over time, or maybe after you fill out your other things, then you'll start stacking that one to increase the item level over time. Not quite sure. Tier 1 spells. This tier seems to be providing utility defensive traits for both classes as shown below. As personalities won't be able to there won't be throughput traits in the same rings. Defense. So every single one of these defensive stuff will be different based on what gear you wear. This is just some of the inputs we have right now. It's just some of the idea what's like one piece of gear might look like. But every different piece of gear is supposed to have different types of customizations. Tier 1 spells. Resounding Protection. Every 30 seconds gain Absorb Shield for 31 times 5 for 6 seconds. This is basically the Pride As. For classes that need a little bit of Pride As. Aspect of Cheetah adds additional 77% speed to the initial 3 seconds of Aspect of the Cheetah, so you can really get out of the way. Swiftness increases your movement speed by 77% of your haste up to 77. This is a lot like the legendary for plate classes, where you have the boots for the speed set. It takes your best stat, and here you only can use haste for the stat. Increases your movement speed based on your best stat, but here it only increases movement speed based on haste. Still really cool, very interesting idea. Then tier 2 spells, we have Overwhelming Power. Your damage and abilities have a chance to grant you 25 applications of overwhelming power. Each stack grants you 39 haste. It's almost like a trinket setup, like back from Miss Pandaria type of trinkets. The one application of overwhelming power is removed every 3 seconds when you take damage. So as long as you can keep hitting people, you can just get a ton of haste, and when you take damage, it lowers down. Interesting trade-off. Elemental Whirl. Your damage and abilities have a chance to grant you Elemental Whirl, granting 77% over random choice between critical, haste, and mastery or versatility for 10 seconds. Random stat sticks. Or Heed My Call. Your damage and abilities have a chance to deal a bunch of damage to your target and 15 to enemies within 3 yards. This gives you this is very a lot like the second row of Netherlight Crucible. Like, you have a lot of options of like upfront damage or just a haste buff, but here's like an application of like a haste buff. I guess this gives you a lot of options for different fights. If a fight you're not going to take a lot of damage and can build up a ton of haste, do it. If you're good from whatever stat happens, Elemental Whirl might be better. Or Heed My Call if like you don't really need stats but might need more for AoE. I mean, it gets just like different variants. They just seem kind of, they don't seem like they change your gameplay too much. They're just a nice addition to what you might be doing. I don't think it'll be like a make it or break it option of like, oh, if you choose Elemental Whirl but not Heed My Call, then you'll do a ton of damage. But if you choose Heed My Call, you'll be at the bottom of the charts. You know what I mean? It's just like so small. I was kind of hoping for more impactful, but maybe tier 3 will be more impactful. Let's read. Embrace Sands. Critical strikes of your abilities have a chance to create a localized sandstorm, damaging all enemies and healing allies within. Oh, that's kind of cool. Mode of the Eye. Your abilities have a chance to grant you 77 times 6 critical strike rating, decreasing by 77 every 2 seconds. I guess it's neat. Fear of Sands. Attacks have a chance to deal more physical damage. Critical strikes by this damage are multiplied by 300. Rotting Jaws. Kill Command has a chance to deal additional damage and grants 6 focus over 3 seconds. That's gameplay changing. I like that. Arrow Storm increases damage of aim shot by 77, has a 4% chance to reset cooldown. Rapid Fire, oh, that's actually game changing. I like that better than simple stat sticks. Piercing arrow. Each arrow fired by rapid shot have a 4% chance to hit an additional target. Options. Ride the lightning. Increase the critical shot chance of aspect of the wild by additional 5%. Cause your attacks to deal nature damage. That's just the artifact weapon added back in the game. Chaining up to 2 targets. That is so artifact weapon or a trait or whatever. Whirling Inbound. Increases damage of your hatch stars by 77 and causes it to return to you, dealing damage to initial. Oh, that's so cool. So hatch stars becomes a real good ability, back and forth. And then Vigorous Wings. Increases duration of aspect of eagle. Now this is in tier 3 you actually have some game changers for the gameplay. That is actually fucking awesome. So far not bad. The second row did kind of feel underwhelming. Hope tier 1 is a little bit more changeable. And now let's take a look at the Shaman traits, see how that's all about. In the tier 0, of course, you have the animal increase. For Shaman tier 1, Resounding Protection, again, just like the Hunter. Ancestral Swiftness, increases damage reduction of Ancestral Swiftness by additional 77. What the fuck? 77% off your, what is it, 40%? Or just slapped 77 to the 40%. It's like 100% damage increase. Does it heal you? Enemies' attacks just end up healing you because you're overprotected or something. Then Swiftness, increase movement speed. Again, pretty basic, pretty baseline. Then again, 3 exactly same ones for tier 2. That's gonna be a boring tree, I think. Tier 3, Fury of Sands, exactly the same as the last one from the Hunter. Ancestral Reach, restoration only, increases the healing of chain lightning by 77, causes it to bounce an additional time. Actually, I think a talent or something. I think it was a talent similar to that. Mote in the Eye, abilities have a chance to grant you. Okay, pretty baseline, pretty boring. Lightning Burn, elemental rest only. Increase damage of chain lightning by 77 because your fire is supposed to deal additional. Oh, that's so cool. Just a buff for damage. Embrace Tides, all specs, increases critical healing of healing surge, causes it to prevent damage for the next 6 seconds. Oh, that could be really good. Storm's Eye, enhancement only, increases critical strike chance of crash lightning by 77 and increases the radius of crash lightning by 1. Awesome for AoE. Flames of Forefathers, elemental resto, increases damage of lava bursts by 308 and causes it to grant you 5 Maelstrom. I mean, it's a nice change. Electropotence, enhancement only, increases critical strike chance of Storm Strike by 8 and causes Storm Strike criticals to deal additional damage. Okay, these ones are not as game changing, but they're just extra additions to what you want, but they're more specific, right? Storm's Eye, buff your crash lightning. Electropotence, Storm Strike, buff the single damage. So I guess the ones that are stat sticks that just give you random amounts of stats are not terrible because they can be used for AoE or single target. Attacks have a chance to, you know, so you don't have to specify yourself. But it's, I guess it serves that kind of purpose. If you, because there's probably going to be one that's like all AoE, all single target, and then you need the middle ground. And if you just give a stat stick for middle ground, it can actually probably play out to a certain extent. I don't really know them. And as we looked before, yeah, different pieces of gear will have different traits. So this is just going to be, let's say, one row of traits from one piece of gear, right? And you'll have 3 of these. You have 3 worth of these. So you'll have, I guess, 3 different tier 1 spells, 3 different tier 2 spells, and then 3 choices of 3 different tier 3 spells. So it is actually a lot of customization. Like if it was just from one item, that'd be pretty boring, but this is basically like a netherlight tier artifact power times 3. So you'll have a lot of options of how you want to closely customize your character. So I guess you could technically let's say in one row take Storm's Eye, and let's say another piece of gear grants you electropotence. You could, I guess, spec into both Storm's Eye and electropotence. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't stack on each other too much. You know what I mean? I guess what I'm trying to say is, let's say you got 3 different pieces of gear, like a helmet, shoulders, and chest, but they're all from same-ish tier. My biggest concern is if all the traits are exactly the same. Let's say you're playing enhancement, right? Your first row is resolute in production, astral shift, swiftness, but every single piece of gear has exactly the same tier 1. And I guess you could just buff up your astral shift, just be the tankiest guy in the world, like 300% damage reduction. That could be something insane. Tier 2 spells, you just grab, let's say, 1 of each because you're not really sure. And then tier 3 spells, you're like, wow, I'm doing a raid. So all single target, and all you choose is electropotence. That would be so boring if it is literally just like same options for you at all times. You know what I mean? I just want it to be, I'm hoping that every single piece, like a headpiece, like Blizzard needs to craft them on their own, and I know it's a lot of work, but let's say I'm hoping the headpiece will have, like, let's say, its own traits. Chest piece, its own traits. Maybe some cross-reference with the others, but for the most part, they add to the gameplay, not just, you know, allow you to stack the best buff ever. It just actually, give you more options so you can change how you play. You can more customize it. You don't just look at the one, which one is the best for this situation? Let me just stack that until the end of days. Kind of like how we do with our relics. You know what I mean? Because relics don't really add that much of gameplay. You're not really ever going to do like the AoE one. You always do whatever buffs your single target damage or whatever makes you more tanky. Or it allows you to heal more. You're not really gonna go, oh, I want to take this one because I think it'll be cool for my play. No, it's just a bad option. You know, it's not. It's an illusion of choice. I'm really hoping. I'm really hoping your chest piece, headpiece, all that. And if you look right here, as far as I can see, you have your headpiece, and it has these two options. Your shoulders have these, so the icons are different. Then you have the second row. Well, there's few that overlap, like the chest and shoulders. You have this one and this one will look very similar. This one and this one will look very similar. But it could be a different effect just with a similar icon. And then the third row, I don't think I see... There's one. There's this one, and this one that are about the same. Then there's this one and this one that are similar. But that's really about it. So I'm hoping that there will be this different, you know, so you'll really have a lot of customization, not too many of them overlapping, so you can kind of just stack the best one to the point where it's like almost controlled, right? So Blizzard can kind of control just how OP can you be if you do stack one. Wow, this is a lot of work they're putting in. I'm really hoping that this system better work out well, because this is so much work being put into this. If this, and they're banking on the system, this is going to be one of the biggest parts of BFA, the Azeroth system. And if it sucks, I feel like the whole thing, this is like the base of the game. This is what you'll be playing and counting for. Artifact weapons were pretty well. With Legos, hero sets, all that, it balanced out somehow. It was like, I feel like, I mean, it was kind of rickety, but it stood on stilts pretty well. This one is going to stand on even taller stilts, so the fall is going to hurt harder, I think. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that this is done well. I'm hoping to really take the time, even if they have to delay the expansion by 6 months even, for them to get it right. Because I think this needs to be gotten right. I think Blizzard has already been working on this for a while. I think they have the general idea. But, I mean, I can't even imagine developers just sitting there thinking, like, how the fuck are we going to make every single one of these traits? You know what I mean? This is going to be hard. And Blizzard really are taking the time out of this. Holy crap, this is more complicated than Artifact Power System. But maybe by the time it comes out, it'll be a lot more simple. And I'm just not getting the big picture. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Let me know what your thoughts on the first impression of the Heart of Azeroth, like systems and spells. Do you think it'll be good? Do you think it'll be bad? What are your thoughts? Are you optimistic, or you're like, no, I don't like this. I don't like this. Because I'm pretty optimistic. I'm just kind of hoping to get it right. Because again, I feel like it's gonna be so core to the game, and it might not be. It might not be as big as I think it is, but it could be so core to the game where if this doesn't work, the whole expansion doesn't work. You know what I mean? But if this works, this could be so good. You know what I mean? So it's just so much pressure, so much. At this point, I would honestly be fine if Blizzard were to delay this by 6 months just so they get this perfect. You know what I mean? Because that'd be a bummer if this comes out and it just sucks ass, you know. Anyway, that's all I had for you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Go ahead and give this video a like if you enjoyed it, or if you simply want to help my channel grow on YouTube. If videos get a lot of likes, they reach a wider audience. So a video talking about Azeroth power and how the system will work would be very much appreciated, to be bombarded with a bunch of likes, because it'll allow my channel to grow, especially in these kind of days where, you know, coverage is this is one thing that wasn't covered, and I was the first to make a video on the day they released more info. Can you believe it? As always, guys, if you want to see more videos like these, more coverage of in-depth stuff like Battle for Azeroth, patch updates, BFA, and 551 duels, go ahead and subscribe. We put out 2 videos a day, and if you guys want to catch the live stream live, go ahead and hit the notification bell down below in order to catch the stream and even participate and hang out with us and play with us in BGs and whatnot on the stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see all of you guys in another video.